Hello, people. It's your boy Dre Day Everyday, accompanied by my co-host.
Bonbon 623.
And today we're gonna do a video about. It's kind of going to be varied topics. It's mainly going to be about um collecting, figure collecting, some anime questions, and all of that. She's gonna lead the charge, and I'm gonna kind of just answer, and I might throw some questions in here or there. So sit back, relax, and welcome to another episode of Black Nerd Talk.
So today we're getting into collecting figurines and such. So, as you all know, we're all anime fans, anime nerds, that sort of thing, mangas, whichever way you got into it. Usually people get into it by a friend, also Dragon Ball Z, and then you branch out from there. Now, Dre, it is my okay, so just to really set the time frame, Dre
Okay.
grew up in the 80s and 90s. And then
Right.
by the 2000s, he was already an adult. I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. So by that time, I'm still like late teens, early 20s, or something like that. And by that time, you're already an established adult. So,
Right.
that being said, by the time you got into anime, was it in the 90s or the 2000s?
It was actually getting what so I had to double back because the very first anime I ever watched was called Ronin Warriors, and it's Samurai Troopers. I actually thought it was a cartoon. Here's my favorite character from it.
Mhm. No, that is a cartoon from the 80s, right?
Yes, it was. If the funny thing about it is the original run of it. Matter of fact, I have it here. I should have. Yeah, this is the actual series, Samurai Troopers.
Mm,
But in America, it's called Ronin Warriors. So it's from '89. But they what they did was, I guess that they tried it in America. I don't know the story beat for beat, but when they added it in America and then they kind of rebranded it to Ronin Warriors and they gave an English dub. And I thought I was just watching another cart. I thought I was watching a cool cartoon. But
mhm.
come grew up to find out, it's like, hey, I'm actually watching anime. Because I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to see it. So indirectly, yes, I'm watching anime, but I did, and I missed the Dragon Ball wave. But if we're talking about making a conscious decision to watch anime, that's 2018.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then
yeah,
at that point, when you started like getting heavy into anime and adding it into your regular rotation, did
yeah.
you start collecting immediately or did it still take a little while?
So the the collecting piece kind of came before that because what ended up happening, even though I missed Dragon Ball Z in terms of the when it aired on TV,
Mhm.
there was a guy I worked with in 2008, 2007, 2008, and when we started having conversations, he was watching Dragon Ball Z, and he used to hear about the conversation that I had about video games and cartoons and all of that stuff. And he was like, "Hey, you ever seen Dragon Ball Z?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I watched Ronin Warriors," and I'm the kind of person to where if you give me one of something, I'm good. I don't have to go like. So I watched Power Rangers, but I did watch VR Troopers, but it was 5 members up against 3 members. That was the difference. And then watched Mass Rider, but if it was 5 members here and then 5 members there, I probably wouldn't have watched VR Troopers. But uh, yeah, the fact that I watched Ronin Warriors and when I looked at Dragon Ball Z, when I seen previews of it, it just seemed like this doesn't seem cooler than Ronin, so I'm good. But anyway, he was so appalled at this that he literally brought me his DVDs of Dragon Ball Z season one. And he
As
said, "Look, go home, watch this. Do not bring this back until you see the whole thing. And when you do, I'm gonna give you season two." So yeah, I ended up binging Dragon Ball Z in 2008, and I had my characters I took a liking to. But I think my collecting started with wrestling figures.
okay.
And yeah, and the first figure I ever bought was a figure of The Rock, and that spearheaded into all of this that I have here.
So it just branched off into that.
Right. So yeah, so basically my philosophy behind collecting is for one, when we were younger, well when I was younger, because me and you was younger, it's two different eras. When
Mhm.
I was younger, the toys were not as ar- the arms would move, the elbows might bend, and the legs move, and the head spins. These days, the elbow moves, the the arm bends, and it might twist at the bicep. The hand moves. Some figures you can open the fingers. Like the toys are way more detailed and articulate. You can move the toes, and the art direction is way better. So, like for an example, like Metroid is one of my favorite video games. This Samus Aran looks exactly like the Metroid Prime. Like she just, to some instances, some of these toys look better than the actual design, the video game designs or the cartoon designs. So
Mhm.
that's what really got me into it. It's like the level of detail, the points of articulation, because you can pose them in cool different ways. So yeah, that's kind of my whole thing. It's the accuracy and what the characters mean to me, and then it can also branch off into, well, hey, I got Scorpion and I'll have nobody to pose him with, so let's get Sub-Zero. Let's get some more people to put next to him, and that's why we have like the scenario kind of piece.
Got you. So
Yeah.
when you're buying your figures, what are
Mm.
the things that you look for in particular before you purchase this model versus the next model?
So of course, price is going to be considered because I'm not gonna. I do spend too much money on figures. Well, I'm not gonna say that. Somebody that's not a collector would look and say you spend too much money on that. But me, for one, I'm looking for the accuracy, like in terms of so specifically. And I wish I had a picture to put up with my Rowan. This is from a company called Sentinel. They actually have a Rowan made by another one of my favorite toy companies called SH Figure Art. SH Figure Arts are known for their Dragon Ball line,
Mhm.
but the thing is, this is Broly from Dragon Ball Z, who's my favorite character. But the thing with the SH Figure Arts rowing, I think that they're so accustomed to making Dragon Ball Z figures that they made the Ronin Warrior guy with spiky hair, but that's not the art direction of the cartoon.
Mhm.
So this depiction of Rowan is more accurate to the cartoon because you can see, his hair is not like spiky. It's kind of all over the place, but it's not spiky like say, when the guys go Super Saiyan and it has the sharp tips. Literally, if you touch these, it hurts. If you press it into your skin, it hurts because that's how sharp the hair is.
Got you.
So the SH guards made their own with spiked hair. So I went more with accuracy. I go more for the actual accuracy than anything, coupled with what if the character has to mean something to me, of course.
Right.
So
When you
yeah.
buy your characters, it's only because you've connected with that character, not because you're collecting that franchise.
Uh, the character that I connect with starts it. So hypothetically speaking, say for instance, Levi's my favorite character from Attack on Titan.
Mm.
If I couldn't get Levi, I wouldn't get nobody else.
Okay.
So if I find a Levi sold out, that's gonna stop my collection. But if I can find my favorite character, then that's what would make me collect more of the franchise. But I have to start with my favorite characters.
Understood. So, what would be the most expensive one that you've purchased thus far?
The most expensive toy. Let me see. Do I have it? Uh, some of these toys get up there. The the he was 144.
Okay.
So I think as an individual figure, yeah, I think he's been the most expensive. I have another. Now this is one of those ones that you have to put together.
Do you have to
Like
paint it too?
now this one is $99, but this is more of a build project, a project for me,
Hmm.
and I like doing that. These were also I had to put these guys together too. These Power Rangers. Matter of fact, I have already assembled these, so let me.
Do they come painted already, or do you have to do it?
Yeah, they did come painted. It's just I had to snap the hands and feet on and
Mm,
cut them out, and then separate the weapons. That's why I got them in little sandwich bags.
gotcha.
But now with the Metal Gear that I just showed, they have little small figures that do have to be painted. So it's levels to it.
Gotcha. Now, I remember when I was looking at the websites that you showed me, and some of those figures will go up into the thousands. I think the most expensive one I saw was like a 7,000 one, and I want to say it
Yeah.
was from Hunter x Hunter. So I didn't realize how expensive some of these can get, but they're also incredibly detailed to where if you're a collector,
Right,
it's not
right.
that different from buying like limited edition shoes or something like
Shoes or paintings, because I know that's another thing too. Like these figures, they represent art.
yes.
That was another thing that I thought of. You know how some people have decorations in their house and they have like the little figurines and they may be playing the drums or they because they're into music. I
Mm,
thought it would be cool to have the different characters that have meant different things at different points of my life to be around wherever my living arrangement is, and
mm,
it could be a conversation starter. Somebody could say, "Hey, why did you get this?" Oh, well, this guy is from this series, and this meant this to me at this age because of this. It's a conversation starter.
mhm,
Couple, because everything that I do has layers and meanings. That's just kind of what makes things fun for me. So
mhm.
it's like, yes, you can see this, and as opposed to another person who just has a random person on the drums that has no meaning, it's just simply decor. Mine's is decor, but it also has a backstory that ties back to me. So you can learn more about me by looking at the things that I have, and that can spark a conversation. So that's just kind of how I am. It's like having things that are connected to different things, and it can open different doors in different ways.
How, no, what franchise do you have the most of?
Dragon Ball Z. It's
Wow.
funny as it sounds because because with the Dragon Balls, they were so accurate. And another thing too, I have a lot of the same characters in their different because they have the different forms.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have a wide range of people. Like I probably got 6 or 7 Gokus. So I got the black hair Goku. I got Kaioken Goku. I got Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan God Goku.
Girlfriend, absolutely not.
What's all that?
Go ahead. She over here sneezing. Uh,
Because she gonna sneeze on you.
Jeez, this is, man, this is what it means to have kids.
Oh, I see. Say, look, she say, look, it don't matter where you at. I'm gonna come find you. She not you got moved to the basement, and she said, I'm down here with
You
you.
know, gosh, she don't ever sneeze anytime except when she jump on something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead. She's sorry for interrupting you.
Nah, that's cool. Yeah, so I have the most of Dragon Ball Z because those were SH Figure Arts was the brand that I could find the most consistently because they sold them in Barnes and Nobles, right?
Mhm.
So as the years progressed, and then when I started kind of getting a little bit more serious about it, that I discovered Big Bad Toy Store, and that was a game changer for me, which was the one I showed you. And then now I can see more Figma, I can see Sentinel, then I can see Mopex and stuff like that. And what's the another one?
Don't.
Let's see. Um, and my NECA. Yeah, NECA is a really good brand. So when I start seeing the different brands and see what they do well, that's what made me say, okay, you know what? These like SH Figure Arts does Dragon Ball well. They also do Marvel well too, because I have Thanos based on the movie,
Hmm.
you know. But like I said, they didn't do well with the Ronin Warrior. But Sentinel seems to do them well, so I'm gonna get all the Sentinel Ronin Warriors. But then there's this company called well, it's their Good Smile, but they got this line called the Neon Droids, which are kind of like they're they're like pop figures, but they look more articulate. So it's kind of well, they actually articulate because pops don't articulate.
Oh, they
And
don't?
I do. Yeah, yeah. Pop, well, that's their head spins on. I brought the Mr. Shakur out as a, and I got him because it's Tupac, and this is like a super cool pop. Because
Yeah.
you know some of the pops are they look weird, but some of them are cool, and I just think this Tupac was cool.
Mhm.
But these actually articulate,
Those are so
and
cute. They look like little chibi characters.
so yeah, I'm proud of these because look, Light Yagami is
Mhm.
like my third favorite anime character, with Death Note being my second favorite anime of all time. I
Is it?
have yes, we all know that's my first favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this guy was like $200 before they reissued it, and L. So if I couldn't have got Light, I wouldn't have got L because Light is my personal favorite character. You know, but you kind of can't have Light without L. And as a matter of fact, who comes with the handcuffs? Yeah, L comes with the handcuffs, and if you can see here, damn, get that. You see, there's a scene where they're handcuffed together,
Uh,
and so you can actually do this with these two figures. So it's in a lot, and that's another cool thing about when you kind of collect the whole franchise is like this person will have this and the other person. And so when you get them together, you can take the, you can, like I said, he comes with the handcuff, but Light doesn't.
hmm.
So you can actually handcuff Light to L if you have L and Light.
Are you
So that,
planning on posing them together at any point, or are they always going to be in the?
um, honestly, I'm kind of like a little kid in spurts. So I'll take them out and I'll probably play with them for a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. And I may pose them and take a picture and put it on Instagram or something.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't leave them posed that way because I like to leave them in the box because of dust. You
Mhm.
know, dust is a whole thing. And it's like, so yeah, I like them inside, especially when they have window packaging, like you can see it,
Yeah.
So that's what makes something like these kind of frustrating, but I know what's in the box.
Um,
But yeah, I collect the characters that are near and dear to my heart, and if they're super cool looking, and if they're not $6,000. Because what's funny about those $6,000 pieces, they're usually statues.
so some of them
They're
can get pretty big.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's another thing, them being the life size, but some of them are more like in that 12-inch scale, but they look so detailed that it's like, but for me, I don't really like the statue figures. They have to articulate, like the knees have to bend. So
Gotcha.
I don't typically collect those.
See, and if I were to collect, I think I would go more of the statue where like they're just in that pose, they're
And that's all right.
painted or what have you, and then have them in a display case. Which brings me to my next question. What would be your ideal, like most perfect way to display your pieces?
Hmm. The perfect way for me is yeah, I can't. So I would literally have them in dynamic. If there was no such thing as dust,
Mhm.
I would literally have my characters in dynamic poses in random places in my place. So it's like Spider-Man, I would have him up in the corner, probably observing. But then Batman, I'd have him somewhere dark to where you might miss him, like probably behind my controller. And then I have Levi probably swinging from something like he's about to attack a Titan. And then I
Mm,
have him. So I would literally have them in dynamic poses around the house, just randomly. Like you might have opened up the refrigerator and I got Iceman in there. Like I would literally do that if
Uh,
it was practical. That would be the dream way of posing it. But other than that, I would probably just go with the glass cases.
yeah,
You
like
know,
cabinet.
yeah, yeah. Because ideally, if I put a figure in the refrigerator, of course, it's going to, he's going to have the condensation on him, and no telling what that's going to do to the joints later on, and he may not, bend and move the same anymore. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's ideas up against practicality,
yeah.
you know. So
Fascinating. So, do you not have any figures for Monster?
no, because they don't make any.
They
Because
don't.
yeah, they don't make it. Like Monster is very cultish.
Is
It's
it
kind of
very
like it's kind of like a cult. Like they just got it on Netflix maybe a few months ago.
okay?
And a friend that I was telling about it, I was like, it's not on Netflix. They're like, yes, it is. But I guess that's like their knee jerk reaction to go check Netflix. And it was there. I had to watch Monster on a illegal website because I was looking at the on YouTube
Mhm.
top psychological horror animes because Death Note is the one for me. My ex girlfriend introduced me to this, and I watched it, and I was just completely blown away because I didn't know anime could be this intelligent. I
Mhm.
thought anime was just characters yelling and fighting. Because a lot of people do watch anime for the gore and the fight scenes, and I don't necessarily go for the gore and fight scenes. I'll tolerate them, but
Mhm.
I'm more for the deeper story piece. If you got the deep story piece, that's which is why like Attack on Titan is kind of like that good marriage of both. You got the gore on this side, but it has a real deep story too. So that's what gets Attack on Titan with me with being a gory anime. It's that story that it's connected to.
Got you.
hmm So yeah, it's a and it's a hobby that I spend too much money on, but
I wouldn't say
yeah,
that because it's your hobby.
right. And this is my favorite basketball player. If they made, which leads me to a bad. I definitely want to bring this up. They didn't. They just started making NBA players, and here is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I did this as a review. This figure is atrocious.
I thought they've been making NBA players.
Um, not to where they articulate.
Okay.
Yeah, like they just got this and see, so like stuff like this. Like this is the best player in the NBA, and he looks out of shape. And look. That no NBA jersey does that. He
Oh,
doesn't even look. He doesn't even look like this to
oh,
me. Yeah.
man.
So I bought this. So I was so excited, and I was so disappointed. So yeah, you do have that factor of getting something and it not being good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this. He's a statue, but like I said, this is like they do stuff like this, like statues. But in terms of articulating. Yeah, they don't do much for NBA players. And I guess I should be glad because that would be another rabbit hole to fall into.
So when it comes to collecting, it's not specific to any genre. So you'll get Marvel,
I
NBA
just
players.
Marvels and yeah, anything that means something to me. Because well, if I'm passionate about it, like of course Spider Man, um, Power Rangers, and I'm very passionate about basketball. It's probably weird because typically nerds aren't I ain't gonna say they aren't big on sports, but it's just you don't hear sports in the nerd conversation space. But yeah, I'm very passionate about basketball. So yeah, I would collect it. It's a topic that doesn't pop up in the nerd category. And I would collect hell, I collect actors if they made them, but like they don't make them. Like I collect Denzel Washington, Leo DiCaprio, Al Pacino. I would collect those. So I guess it's
No, Al Pacino has some little figurines out
he
there.
probably does. But see that now that's also another thing to me saying if they made Al Pacino, but I can't get a Denzel Washington, my favorite actor ever. If I can't get a Denzel, I don't want an Al Pacino.
Got you.
So if anything, I would get Denzel first, and hopefully they will have a line, and then I could get that line because that's another thing I don't like doing. I don't want to have a Figma Wolverine from X-Men, and then have a NECA Gambit, and then have a SH Figure Art Cyclops. Like they need to be in the same line because another thing too is they'll be scaled to each other. That
Mm,
was another thing that I liked about the Dragon Ball figures. Like if you stand Frieza next to Goku, there's a height difference.
yeah.
And then if you stand Goku and next to Broly, there's another height difference. So
That makes
oh, so this is from Death Stranding, which was one of my favorite games, and I got Sam Porter Bridges. So this is another one of my
this
favorite.
dude. What's it? Walking Dead. Um,
Oh, what is his name?
I don't know his name, but I know his face. It's the
Yeah,
same guy, right?
yeah, that's him. Why can't I think that that's hold on. When I can't think of stuff, it bothers me on a spiritual level. I can't get his name.
Yeah, I'll look
Yeah.
at
So yeah, like I said, I like things that
Norman
because
Reedus.
yes, I
Yeah.
don't know why I couldn't think of it, but yeah. But it starts with wherever I saw it first, and video games is big for me, and cartoons and animes are big for me. So yeah, I do need if anybody's connected to Monster, go get this license because I need this guy. I need him. It's
You
not
checked
even
Etsy.
yes.
Um,
I've checked everywhere. It just don't because, like I said, since the license, and that's the thing with these figures.
mhm.
These companies have to get these licenses before they can make them.
Yeah.
Because like you make him if you want to and put him out, and watch you get a cease and desist and probably a lawsuit that puts you out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. How many figurines would you say you have?
That's hard to say when you got like 10 things pre-ordered still on the way, and I wish I had an inventory system because I just found an app to inventory my games, and I have like 400 and hold on, let me get the yeah. I with my figures, I honestly don't know because I have my wrestling figures that aren't even displayed, and I don't even know how many those are. But if I was to give a guess, I would say that it would probably be somewhere in there, probably 100, 100, 120 range, somewhere in there. And it may be over. It may be somewhere between 80 to 120. That's just kind of a guess because if usually I'm the kind of person that would have that number, but
Mhm.
these figures have kind of started piling up, and I definitely lost count because they start putting out a lot of cool stuff since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Especially the more mainstream it gets.
Yeah, I think like we're still we're living in the world that the pandemic has created because it's affected so many different things like the output of things because because it's changed so many people's lives. Like there are people who literally they work from they don't go anywhere. You work from home, get your groceries delivered, get your dinner delivered from DoorDash. If you need to go somewhere, you use Lyft. You get your packages from Amazon. Like you literally don't have to go nowhere. So I guess these companies said, well, hey, let's give these guys are pushing the button. Let's give them more stuff to push the button on.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
hmm even shoes, and I collect shoes. Sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead too, but like I just don't have enough room out here I'd be behind all of the boxes. You couldn't see me. Yeah, I just think for me, I just have collector DNA.
Mhm.
Somebody told me I'm an organized hoarder, and I was almost offended, but I had to accept it because it's the truth.
Well, not that organized, or else you would know how many figurines you got.
Well, it's organized, but it's not counted. Because
Mm,
if it wasn't organized, it wouldn't be as needed as it is.
got you. So how do you make sure that you're not doubling up, or do you just have like a mental image of everything you already have?
Yeah, this is pretty sharp up here.
Okay.
I can really. It does get crazy with my games because you have the whole digital versus physical. So that was why I wanted an inventory, and I only inventoried the physical. So I'm like, if I buy something, I'm trying to get physical copies of it, and if I don't have it, because if I put the digitals in there, I wouldn't know if I had the physical or digital. So,
Got
but
you.
yeah, with my toys, I do. And another thing too, yes, it's just like I said, I can just kind of do a quick glance around my room, and I just kind of got a mental vision of it. And if I don't, I can just look and see, hey, do I got this?
Mm.
But there's also, I'm glad you said that because I did double up, but I intentionally doubled up. So here's a Naruto, and this is by SH Figure Arts,
Mm.
but they also did a refinement on the design. So when they made him, I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna get him too." And I'm actually, when I get back to recording my solo videos, I'm gonna do these together to show it's like, hey, here's this one and here's this one, because that's the thing too. Like you could get one figure, like with the Dragon Ball specifically, they got the 1.0 line and they have the 2.0 line,
Mm.
and as the design improves, some of the knees articulate better, the arms articulate better, and the coloring in paintings are better. So I will intentionally double up if the new one is an improvement upon the original's design, and I may discard the other one or I may keep it. So that's the only time I intentionally double up.
Mm.
Or if I'm going to say I want Light as a Neandroid, but I also want him as a 6-inch scale figure.
Now explain what a neandroid is.
Huh?
Explain what a neandroid is.
So the neandroids are the ones that look like pop figures that articulate.
A little chibi.
So, yeah, yeah, these are the neandroids, the little cutesy figures.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side, this they're both from the company called Good Smile.
Mm.
Now this is a Good Smile, but this is their Figma line. So they're under the same umbrella of Good Smile,
Mm.
but see they make the 6-inch scales, but
Mm.
they also make the little cutesy line. Now on the flip side, SA Figure Arts and Figma are competitors. So here's the SA Figure Arts, and they also tried to make their little cutesy line called Figure Arts Minis.
Okay, those are cute.
Yeah. Now these with the Neandroids, their
Hmm.
knees are bent and their elbows will bend, but with them, just the arms and legs move. So it does differentiate, and their heads aren't as big. So it does differentiate itself just a bit.
Hmm.
But I just got this because it was on clearance and I wanted to just add it. But if I'm gonna go with the Neandroids over this Figure Arts Mini, unless Figure Arts Mini starts really, really coming with figures. And that's another thing too. Some lines will make figures that other lines won't. Like I would like to have Attack on Titan as all 6-inch scale, but they've only made Aaron, Mikasa, Armin, Levi, and Erwin up there. But the Neandroids, they got Hanji, they got Mikasa, they got Aaron, they got um, Gene, they got Reiner. Like they have more Neandroid Attack on Titans, so I'm buying the Neandroids because I can get more of them.
Yeah,
So that's a thing too. Like if this line isn't making it and this line is, then I'm gonna go with that.
you gotta go where it's at.
So yeah, man, it's a simple and a complicated thing.
So if anybody has any questions about starting up their collection, they can come to you.
Yeah, I'm the guy to ask in the comments.
Can
I
they
got some
slide into
tip.
your IG DMs?
Well, right now I'm only operating on IG, and that's Dre Day G at. Oh, I'm just Dre Day G. I'm sorry. I was about to give my email. Nah, but yeah, it's Dre Day G on Instagram, and sometimes you'll catch me posting a picture of what I just got,
Mhm.
and yeah,
Because I
and I
would
know
say that I wouldn't really know where to start because it's very hard finding figurines at storefronts anymore.
yeah, that's why Big Bad Toy Store is the best. You can type it in by the character name or franchise name
Mhm.
or toy company. You know,
So if you guys have any questions, absolutely hit Dre up because he's the king of all of that. Because I had zero idea about any of this.
yeah. I sent her a bunch of stuff, and she's still like, I don't know where to start.
Want to so bad. I just don't know where I would put them. I have
I
one
was if it was me with you. Oh, wait a minute.
I have one little Sailor Moon that I got for Christmas. I don't
They
think
make say look, so SH Figure Arts makes Sailor Moon. Okay.
it's a statue though.
The statue.
Mm,
Oh yeah, but see that's the thing. You don't want that's another thing. You don't want the articulating ones.
not really.
Yeah, so that would be a little well they have them on Big Bad Toy Store. You just have to sift through and see who you want it.
I saw these really pretty Sailor Moon figure ones where I think they were Nindroids.
Android with the big had big heads.
Uh-huh. And I
Yeah,
really want those sometime.
yeah.
Eventually, I'm gonna have a little display glass case to put them in, I think. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, I did. I forgot to bring these in, but I collected these X-Men because they look like VHS tapes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. The but just to show you that they have the figure inside.
Uh-huh.
Damn, is he oh
Are these NRFB? Never remove
bruh.
from box?
Oh I did. Oh okay. The tape was still on, but yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
hmm
That's clean.
So yeah.
Well, thank
But,
you for
but
sharing your collection with us, Dre.
I appreciate the questions. It's very insightful and I got to explain one of my passions
Yeah.
and why I'm passionate about stuff.
So make
But
sure
I
you
guess
guys keep up with his channel and check out the rest of his reviews.
right. And I need to get back on it. I've been slacking, but this summer's been crazy in terms of me being sleepy and everything going on. Like I don't know what's
Well, we'll be back again in 2 weeks.
going on. Weeks. No total recall.